Oh my goodness, friends. I'm so excited for this and I'm a little terrified. Today hi, my name is Elizabeth. This is The Joyful Sojourn. And what do I do here? I talk about planners and stationery and doing things creatively. And I am not a brandist, meaning I'm not a brand loyalist. So I do all the things here on my channel. So if you are a diehard cloth and paper person, if you subscribe to my channel, you'll see lots of creative play with Archer and Olive and Coco Daisy and creative listing and journaling and playing in our planners. But I also do get the monthly, occasionally, sometimes I skip. I have a love and disappointment relationship with the cloth and paper intention box. And I loved the May 2025 box with the notebook set. I thought it was so good. And I feel like the last couple months from Cloth and Paper have been excellent boxes. It is their 10-year anniversary season. And so they're definitely pulling out the stops. I know I've been a little bit of a critic of the boxes, but I do think that they've done a great job recently. So we're going to open up the June 2025 intention box for Cloth and Paper. And I did something I think maybe for 1 month I dabbled in rings. And you guys, this is the box that if you're new to cloth and paper or you're new to the planning world, period, this is a good box to subscribe to. I think you have until the 15th because it is going to come with a cover. It's going to come with dividers and sample inserts. And I thought, I'm just going to go for it. Normally I get a half letter. Let me show you this, by the way. White box, red labeling here. I think the Jane's Agenda box is prettier. And I will have the Jane's Agenda I guess it'll be the July box whenever that arrives. It's funny, both the Cloth and Paper and the Jane's Agenda subs that are arriving this month have covers in them. And I did something totally different for both of them. So with Cloth and Paper, I was like, you know what? Let's explore. So for June 2025's box, I actually changed it to the Rings A5. Who am I, you guys? For real. Because whenever I do these boxes, I'm getting, did I already say this? The mini HP or the half letter. And I thought, if they're going to give me a cover, dividers, sample inserts, then I might as well try something totally different. And that's what I did. So we're going to see if Elizabeth can figure out rings. The other thing that I did, not realizing this, is if you are a new subscriber to the Cloth and Paper box, which I did resubscribe for this box, they give you whatever binding situation you need for your cover. So if you are a brand new subscriber this month and you get something that is a disc bound, they will send you discs with this. So it is a complete bundle. If you are a new subscriber and you sign up for the rings, they will send you a set of rings. And I didn't know that. And so I bought rings, like I added it to my order. And now I bought the black ones, but this box came with the silver. They're the same size, 1 inch, but really cool. So again, if you're trying to try something new, a different planner size, then the Cloth and Paper box is a great one to get this month because they give you everything that you need. So we're going to assemble from scratch for the first time ever an A5 rings for me. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so let's get into the box. I did purchase this on my own. Like I said, a new era awaits. You know what? They ain't lying, guys. They're not lying because this is brand new to me. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I feel all the feels. Let's just take a look at everything that's in this box. A lot of stuff. So these must be the inserts. This is the cover. These are the dividers. And then again, because I was a brand new subscriber, like I think last month I bought as a one-off because I wanted the notebook set that they had been teasing. So I bought it as a one-off. And then when I purchased this one, I think I ended up doing a 3-month like advance pay for 3. And that counted as a new order. And that's why I got the rings for this. And then we have these guys. So right off the bat, I'm going to say this multiple times. Even if you're not a Cloth and Paper person, but you want to try a different size in the discbound, let's say you're a Jane's Agenda person and you want to try, well, I guess you'd want to use the Jane's Agenda box because her cover is new this month too and exclusive to the box. But in any case, like this over the Jeans Agenda is almost better because they give you the binding that you're going to need. Like I was going to need rings for this cover. So if you're switching planner sizes and you're brand new to the cloth and paper subscription, it's nice that they throw in discs. Okay, I know this is a lot of talking. Let's open up this guy first. Everything is very aesthetically cohesive with this box. And sometimes it makes sense to me, sometimes it doesn't. But in this particular box's case, I see the theme here with the blacks and the reds and the whites. And it feels very, I want to say, Cruella de Vil. That's no hate, no shade on cloth and paper. But when I was looking at, they did a little sneaky peek of these, the stickers that we're going to see in here. I was like, is anybody else getting Cruella de Vil vibes? Anybody? That's what I'm getting. So first of all, here's this memento envelope. This is pretty much in every order, and they give you like a little freebie in here. I will say that at first I didn't have a use for these, and I was recycling them, and I regret it because the size of these pockets are nice. The cardstock is really, like, it's a nice paper material. And I've been sliding smaller sticker sheets in here and putting them in a pouch that I take on the go with me. And I've actually really appreciated this. So was definitely more like, what am I going to use this for? It feels nice, but like, what do I use it for? I found a use for it. And it does fit a lot of your 3x5 sticker sheets. So first you get this guy. Then we have, I think this is a tour card. This is just... a discount code. So if you're a subscriber, you're going to get a 10% discount code on the back of this. And let me see if there's anything else. This is just a thank you for being part of the family. So we've got our intention box card. And then the freebie here, progress stickers in rouge. So again, like very connected, which I do appreciate. I've not been using these, but I should probably give them a try. It'd probably work in an hourly layout if you wanted to do some vertical lines to kind of cross out chunks of time. So we have progress stickers, sample, and I'm guessing if you buy anything on the website right now, this is the sample that you're going to get, and these are transparent stickers. So let's take a look at the pen. Oh, that is a nice heavy pen. I've been critical of pens in the past, but they have really gotten so much better with their pens since they got rid of the Penspiration subscription. This is, oh my gosh, this is heavy. So typically you get 2 pens in your box, and since they got rid of the Penspiration, I do feel like they've been better about doing like name brand, recognizable brand pens. So they've been getting better. This guy is the Zebra G750. It's a gel pen. I'm guessing it's a 0.7. And this thing, oh my goodness, this thing is heavy. Like in not a carpal tunnel is going to be flaring up with it kind of way, but in a feels expensive kind of way. And I appreciate when sub boxes have pens that feel expensive. Sorry, my dog's in here. She heaved a heavy sigh. So that is nice. I really like that grip. Got nice texture to it. And I think we should give it a little test, a little testery doodah. See how that writes. Grab this notepad here. So this is the, ooh, she juicy. This is the Zebra G750. Ooh, is she keeping up with my writing when I'm writing really fast? She's not skipping. That's a nice pen, guys. Well done, Cloth and Paper. Thank you for giving us such a good metal pen. My gosh. And then love the little red accent up at the top. This is a yes for me. Very happy with that. Yes, please. Let's actually, and I've mentioned this in the last video. I actually really like these Ziploc bags they've been doing with their packaging. The change of the packaging over the months has been quite refreshing. Let's open up these guys, and then I want to get through all the kind of little things first, and then we will actually assemble my first Cloth and Paper ring situation. And I think we should zoom in a bit. Okay, so we have this members only journaling card. It's like a Polaroid, but we're like looking up a set of stairs. This gives me the Shining vibes. I don't know what it is, but it's a tour card. So on the back, you've got basically the list of everything that's on here. So we've got a dashboard duo, the reserved, well, we'll get into this. We'll look at this at the end, but nice having a little tour card, and I like the Polaroid look, but my gosh, it's a little creepy. A little creepy? I mean, it's fun, but like a little creepy. Anybody? Then we have our monthly calendar. This can be used just as a journaling card that you can pop into your planner. I think this cover does not have an inside pocket, so you'd have to clip it with a magnetic clip, but you can write down the important dates here, and then you can use like dot pens to mark important dates as well. So we've got it for August. I like that they give it to you in advance. Very nice. Next, we have hourly time blocking stickers, and I'm down for that. Interesting that they are on paper. Oh, and we've got some checklists as well. Let's put our colors together. So we've got like a ivory color, khaki color, and gray. And our time block is going to be from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. I think I would prefer these to be in like a transparent sticker, because I think these are going to look heavy on the page. I could be wrong, but I do think that's a nice set to include in a box. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, and then you've got your tasks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tasks there. So that's a fun little sticker set to include. These I'm very excited about, even though they give me Cruella de Vil vibes. These are the circle page flags, and I love a spotty dotty. So that speckled kind of polka dot look, I'm a big fan of. It's very artsy and I like it. But they're gonna be hard to see. Like when you're writing on them, you might need to use like acrylic pens, or I don't know if I have any oil-based pens that are a color other than black. So you're not gonna wanna write on these. This is just gonna be like an accent if you wanna highlight something next to it. You're not gonna be able to see writing on it, but you could definitely write on these guys. And I love the color of that gray. Do we have colors on it? These are 1.25 inches. And I like them. You can write on them. You can highlight something. That's just a fun pattern, which I'll use just as a regular sticker because you can't write on it, but not mad at that. Do you guys see Cruella de Vil? You can't not see it at this point, right? Come on. Okay, so next we have this, members. Even this envelope feels nice. I just feel like they've gotten better, you guys. That feels very luxurious. So this says members only, so I'm like part of the club. And so we have a card that looks kind of like a library card. And it's a journaling card. So this would be something that you would just pop in and decoratively into a wrap cover. Create a check-in routine for your goals. Time, pause, reflect, realign. Now in this moment, take stock of your growth. What deserves to be nurtured? What needs to be released? For your eyes only, checkpoint. So this is just like a check-in point, I guess. June, well, is it July that's the halfway point? We're getting close to the halfway point. So this is just a reminder to slow down and maybe reassess where you're at in life, which is something that I am doing a lot this month. So if you subscribe, you'll be seeing lots of kind of creative listing as I reflect on the last 41 years of my life. So I turn 42 at the end of this month. And yeah, I'm just in this season of wanting to like, how am I doing? How am I really doing if I'm being really honest with myself? So I like that. I feel like that is a good reminder to me. So next we have the For Your Eyes Only dashboard. A lot of people were really excited about this, but it's just so intense. It's a little too aggressive for me, just a little bit. Although I appreciate how thin it is. That makes me like it a little bit more. And I don't know if I realized this was going to be printed in white, and the white kind of softens it a little bit. But this is a really thin plastic dashboard that can layer on top of stuff, and it kind of fades things out. So if you didn't want to use this dashboard and you had writing underneath it, the red isn't going to completely cover up your writing, but let me zoom back out a little bit. But, you know, it does kind of create a bit of a haze over it. So this is a dashboard set in that red. And this guy, I'm not a huge cloth and paper aesthetic person with like empty chairs and staircases and stuff like that. It's not really my vibe. There is a place for it, and I know a lot of people love it. Not personally my aesthetic, but I will say that their cardstock feels really nice. They have a nice paper. It's a toothy paper. It feels satisfying and feels luxe. So that's nice. But like this chair, kind of hospital waiting room chair, is not, for me, not like a pretty thing to look at. But I know a lot of people like it. Let's see, what do we have? This is helpful though. Revisit the goals set earlier in the year, highlight what's been achieved and what's still in progress, reprioritize and evaluate if any goals need adjustment or if any new priorities have emerged in the past months of the year. Focus on goals that align with your current value. Okay, this is actually so timely for me, and I absolutely will be putting it in here because, like I said, I'm in this like reassessing phase because it's my birthday this month, but also June is the 1-year anniversary of me quitting my professional career and having more time with my toddler and just putting out content. And so, really doing an assessment, not just for my birthday, but also, am I accomplishing all of the reasons, or am I any further in bettering my life with my why, for why I quit my job to begin with. And all of that happened in June of last year. And so we're at the 1-year mark. We're also at my birthday month. And this is literally what I've been talking about with my husband too, is like, remind yourself of your why. And so this is really good. And I like the prompts too. Why did you set these goals in the first place? It's not just about what you've accomplished, but also about how your priorities may have shifted and what still feels meaningful. This is the moment to recalibrate, letting go of what no longer aligns and refocus on what truly matters. It's a chance to simplify, clarify, and map out next steps and renewed purpose. I love this so much, so much. Celebrate small wins. Take a few moments to reflect on your accomplishments, no matter how small. Write down things you're proud of achieving so far this year. Create a space to note things that you're grateful for the first half of the year. This can bring clarity, motivation for the months ahead, a gentle pause, a chance to honor the journey you've traveled so far. It's about acknowledging the victories, big and small, not that have shaped your year, and the moments of joy or connection that have left their mark. By focusing on what you're grateful for, you create a sense of balance and appreciation for both progress and presence, grounding you in the good and inspiring you to keep moving forward. So this is so good, and it really validates to me that this kind of mindset can be seen no matter what kind of planner or creative person you are, because cloth and paper is like a minimal aesthetic, very clean, kind of professional line. And I lean more towards the creative play and art and just, you know, doing something creative every day. And I like that we are coming to the same conclusion, and it might manifest differently for you if you're a cloth and paper super user where you're doing this in list format. And this is going to manifest for me in creative listing this month. I'm going to be doing literally, I think, all of these things in a creative way in an Archer and Olive journal. So I just love that no matter who we are and what products we're using, we still need to do these things. We're still assessing our life. We're still thinking about our why, and we just put it onto paper in different ways. So I love this. All I have to say, I love this. This is a yes for me. Okay, so we've got, oh my gosh, let's look at the inserts, and we'll do the assembly last because I know we're all over the place. And this video is getting long. So this is an Undated inserts sampler, and I really appreciate them doing this in alignment with a new cover and binding, so that you have everything that you need to try something new. And the box, when I did the 3-month, or I don't remember if I did the 3-month or the 6-month advance pay, it knocks the price down on the box a little bit, but let's just say the box was $50. For $50, you get a whole new planner setup baseline, and then, you know, you can supplement with it later. So I love that they've given us everything to get started. So this is an Undated daily, and I like their layout for the Undated a lot. We have a full schedule hourly time block here from 7 a.m. to essentially 10 p.m. is the ending line. The lines are set up for half-hour increments, and I like that. I like having an hourly time block with the half-hour increments. If you get this box and you are not an hourly planner and you think, oh, I'm not going to, or I'm not a daily planner, I would highly recommend that you try these anyways and audit your day. I don't know how many they give you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They give you 1 week. Wait, well, these are double-sided. They give you 2 weeks. 2 weeks of dailies. I would encourage you, if you get this box and you're like, I wouldn't use that, like that's not how I plan, use it for 2 weeks. Audit your time. Actually write down how you spent your time. That has been the best way for me to figure out where my margin is. If I always feel like I'm busy and I'm like, oh, I just like don't have time to do stuff. Like if I actually audit how I spend my time, I can see where the margin is and where I'm not being the most efficient. And so, or if I'm spending too much time doing this one thing or not enough time doing that thing. So take this as an opportunity to audit your time and have it be like a tester. You know what I mean? So I like that we have the schedule, and then we have up at the top an open section. This could be for your top things of the day. Maybe you want to track your steps, your sleep, hydration. You could do tracking stuff up here. If you wanted to add an inspirational quote, if you wanted to add stickers and just make it look cute, you can do that. You also have a spot up in the corner to add your date. So you add your date, you add whatever you want here. I probably would add a little bit of flourishes and maybe use stamp icons for my sleep and step count. And then you have a section for your priorities. Maybe you've got appointments that day or something that has a deadline that day. And then your tasks, I use more like brain dumping. I don't know how clearly you can see it, but the task lines are split. So you've got a small column here of where you can actually check things off. And then you've got room for what the task is. So I like that you've got that checklist spot. It's a very nice daily. So you get 2 weeks of dailies. And I do hope that you'll give it a try, even if it's not for your regular planning. If you just mark off 2 weeks where you want to be intentional about auditing your time, use this for that. And because, you're going to get this in discs or you're going to get it in rings, you can pop these in, wherever you want into your planner. So it is separated by notes, a note page, which is very nice. So this will be a standalone, right? And then we've got a note page that brings us to our horizontal, which is one of my favorite layouts because you can format it vertically if you want to, but it usually gives you a little bit more structure. This is the cloth and paper horizontal. And I don't think I said this before, but this sampler pack that they're giving us is a sneak peek of what their inserts are going to look like for 2026. So you get to try out these layouts, and if you like them, then when they release the 2026 dated inserts, like you already know what they're going to look like. So this is a sneak peek at the 2026 collection, which I think comes out at the end of June. I could be wrong, but I think they come out pretty early with those. So here's the horizontal. We've got a Monday through Sunday, but this is undated. So if you wanted to have a Sunday start, you could easily use a sticker and redate this Sunday through Saturday. You just add the dates next to it with some stickers or your favorite pen. You've got a spot up at the top to add your month and then the week dates range. And then I like how the days are split because I tend to do this with a horizontal anyways. I have a horizontal hemlock and oak that I love. And typically with the week all on one page horizontally, I end up cutting it anyways. And I have it separated by subject or by area of my life. So you could have home and work. You could have your to-dos and then your family schedule. You could have the open box be for appointments and deadlines, like things specifically happening that day, and then the grid section be for your actual to-do list. So I like the split. I think the design, having blank and graph next to each other is quite nice. Then when we get down here, we have a task list, and I love that there's no headers here. So you can make them whatever you want, but we have an open task space And we know that it's a task space because we have a line going down vertically. So you write down your item and then you can check off next to it here if it's completed. And then we have 2 sections that are just lined for notes. You could label this brain dump. You could label this for next week. And there's no additional formatting here. So whatever you need it for, you can use it for. So I like the horizontal weekly. I'm a big fan of when I'm doing a horizontal, I would prefer a week on one page and then this be more of a dashboard page. But I think if my weekly was going to be split this way, it's not a bad idea having your weekend and your dashboard on this side. It does give you a little bit more space for each day. So I think that's a very nice horizontal weekly. Let's see how many weeks we get for the horizontal. So 1, 2, 3. We have 3. Well, that's kind of an odd 1, 2, 3. I wish that they had given us a full month. That's kind of, I don't know, maybe just because it's 3, it's just kind of an odd number, but literally an odd number, figuratively an odd number, not to just give us one more page so we have a full month to try out, but that's okay because they give us so much more. And I like that they put notes, lined notes on the back and front of every section so that really can stand alone. Nothing's printed back to back. So we have notes and then we get into, what is this? This is their vertical. And if you are someone, as many of you have chimed in with my very first ever Erin Condren video, a lot of you are super mad that they have done away with the compact vertical from Erin Condren. Cloth and Paper is coming through. If you guys like the compact vertical layout from Erin Condren and you're willing to move away from the coil, you can get it in a disc bound. You can get it in the ring bound. And I don't know, I kind of feel like people might make the jump unless you're super obsessed with Erin Condren paper. I will say Cloth and paper is fabulous. It's a really nice thickness. I think it's a 32-pound paper. And compared to plum paper, compared to Hemlock and Oak, compared to Jane's Agenda, compared to Happy Planner, of all of those ones, Cloth and Paper is the toothiest, but not as toothy as Erin Condren. I say that because if you want this layout and you're mad because Erin Condren did away with the compact vertical, the Cloth and Paper is the closest paper I think you can get to Erin Condren paper. Because all the ones I just listed, I know for a fact because I have them, they are smoother paper. They're slicker, smoother paper. And so this one is like between those ones and Erin Condren. So not as toothy as Erin Condren, but it's a softer brand change to go to Cloth and Paper than to jump from Erin Condren to plum paper, for example. This has a little bit of tooth to it and a nice weight to it. So anyways, I had to say that because y'all know I like to do stuff thoroughly. Like I'm not, I do take the time. My videos are longer, but it's because I want to make sure you guys get the full scope of things. So I think this is a very popular layout. It's never been one that's like called to me, but now that I have it, I'm going to try it. So, and maybe I should do a video like I tried all the Cloth and Paper layouts for 1 month and this was my favorite or something like that. I don't know. I want to play. So love this one as an opportunity to try it. I think the structure in this box is nice if you know that you want a weekly to-do list separate from your days of the week. So we've got an open label here, so you can label it whatever you want. And then they've told us right here that this is for a check mark. I think it's interesting that the this kind of compact vertical style has a check mark here prompting you to use it as a check. Whereas in the this guy, this is the same layout, but they didn't give us a little check mark here. So it's just not consistent. I notice these things. I don't think it really matters. It's not a big deal. I'm just pointing it out in case, you're doing a comparison. You got a space for your month at the top and then your week of up at the top. And again, if you would prefer a Sunday start, Undateds are such a nice choice because it's very easy to change out your days of the week. Some people might prefer Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on one page, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the other page. And that is probably something I would do with this because I can and it's undated, I do think that when I'm working on one page, it's nice to just have all my consecutive days on the one page before moving to the next page versus going across. But for whatever reason, Cloth and Paper splits it this way. And if you purchase the undated or you're trying this out, you can redate it the way that you want to have it be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. So let's see how many weeks we have of this. Are they going to give us 3 weeks or are they going to give us more? So 1, 2, 3, 3 weeks. Why did they do 3 weeks? I'm not mad. I'm just confused. Okay. Note section separating from, the ultimate weekly schedule here. This is for your super like productive. This is a good work planner layout, in my opinion, if you have a work planner separate from your catch-all. That or if you're managing a lot of different people's schedules and you need to account for your time and their time. So the weekly schedule layout, we've got Monday through Sunday. We have tasks list right here at the beginning. And then we have 2 just open lined sections. And it's a vertical layout, okay? It's a lined vertical, but half of it has your hourly layout from 5 a.m. to midnight. You do not have half-hour increments, but what I would do is you're going to have to write really small if you're using this A5 size. It's probably tiny on an HP mini, but if you wanted to write something in for 5:30, for example, I would just write exactly on the line to represent that it's at the half-hour mark. I think this is a really nice layout. It is definitely one I would use for work, but it's almost, I like the structure and I don't like the structure. It just kind of depends on the context. But this is like super heavy duty, super user planner. This is like next level planner in my opinion. This is a little bit different. So you put the week of dates, but then you also have a space here to actually put the span of time that it's covering. So like, 2/5/25 to 2/31/25, whatever. It's a bad example. I know how many days are in February, but just you're putting the full week span up at the top. Let me make sure you guys can still, yeah, you can see that all right. So that's an interesting layout. It's very involved, but I think there's a place for that. So I'm really glad they've given us such variety in the sampler pack. So we have 1, 2, 3 weeks. Okay. Note section. And then we get the weekly admin. So this was what the spiral notebook was in the November box last year for 2025. So the 2025 spiral is this layout. At the time that I got that box and I was looking at it, I didn't have a use for it. And I ended up giving that planner away because the layout wasn't speaking to me. But we're, 6, 7 months away from that. And I kind of think this is nice now. I think this is clutch as a wellness/fitness planner. And I kind of wish that I had saved that thing, but now I have this sampler to use it for. They call it the weekly admin. And I love a week on one page and a big old section for graph grid. But what they did here is they collapsed the weekly even more and gave you tons of space for tasks and for habit tracking. And that's why I think this could be a really good fitness, like health tracking situation, because you've got plenty of space here to write down maybe if you went to the gym or your step count, like what your workout was. I think you've got plenty of space here as well for tracking your food. So you could use the weekly up here for meal tracking. You could separate this out a little bit and maybe do, let's say you go to the gym 3 days a week. You could split this to be your the three things you did at the gym. Obviously with a habit tracker, pretty traditional for fitness. You could do, did you meet your step count goal? Did you meet your water goal? If you're tracking food on Weight Watchers, like, did you stay under whatever points you have? Like, very easy to track here. And then this guy, like, You could put inspirational quotes. You could put a picture of your face to, compare it to in a month, how your face changes. You could do a vision board for the week and decorate and collage it out. And then when you open up your planner to log your fitness and your health stuff, you have like a beautiful collage to like encourage you that week. That's what I think this is really cool for. Obviously, you can use it for work. You can use it for family stuff. If you are someone that doesn't have a lot of things going on each individual day, then you don't need a lot of space in your daily spots. Like you only, if you just want to write one or two things down, you can. You don't need a 2-page spread if you don't have a lot of stuff going on. Maybe you're retired and, you've got maybe 1 or 2 appointments and that's about it each week. So this allows you to play on this other side and to make it whatever you want to. So I am officially an appreciator of the weekly admin, even though I wasn't back in November. I was disappointed that that was the layout they chose for the spiral, but I think it has a lot of potential in this next kind of phase of my life. And I do like it. So 1, 2, 3, and then what's last? I didn't know there was another one. Holy moly. Wait a second. Or maybe this was, I tell a lie. Some of you's yelling at me right now, I know. And some of you are have already commented and I haven't gotten to this point yet. Now I can't remember. Was it the weekly admin that was in the November? I'll look it up. I probably, by the time you're watching this, I already know which it was. It was either the weekly admin or it was actually this. I think it was the weekly task. Because now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, yeah, I don't like this layout. Personally, not a fan of the weekly task layout. It is just too structured for me. And I'm more of a brain dumper and I want more space to brain dump. There's clearly a lot of space for brain dumping with this open line here and the graph grid down at the bottom. But the structure of this is really overwhelming to me. So we have a Monday through Friday and then Saturday and Sunday is split. And that wouldn't really work for me. This I think is a good work layout. If you're a Monday through Friday, like business professional, that works because maybe you can do kind of thinking ahead with the Saturday, Sunday, but this is not useful for my personal lifestyle. But we have a priorities box, a to-do box, and then open lines. So it is a vertical layout, but they've pre-split everything for you. So I would love to know if you have been using the weekly task layout, how are you liking it? And in what context are you using it? It's just not something that speaks to me. But, I like having all the samples. So I can try all the things. And that is it. What was that? 5 different layouts daily. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why they only did 3 of each, because they gave us 6 different layouts. That's actually fabulous. So you really can try all the things and then figure out what you might want for the new year. Let's take a look at these guys. These are side tab dividers. I love when subscription boxes include dividers. Always, always, always. And even better that they're providing them for folks who could be changing planner sizes, because I have a ton of discbound dividers. I'm not in want of discbound dividers, but this is the first time I'm playing in this style of planner. So I don't have any dividers for A5 ring bound. So this is very exciting. These are not plastic, but they are the thickest, most scrumptious vellum papers I've ever felt. So very, very thick vellum. Like, I'm not worried at all that these are going to soften up over time and like get messed up. If you're going to have vellum dividers, you want them to be this thick. I mean, super thick. The vellum is even thicker than this dashboard. Like, you can't really bend it. So very nice. They are keeping up with that kind of rouge color, having January through December in a sans serif font. So I like how clean that is. And I think those are nice. Nice to have those. Okay, we're getting into the juicy good stuff, okay? Let's open this up, and we've got the rings too. So they included a full cover, which I think is most fabulous. You get the front and the back, and whatever planner, mine's a little scuffed. Whatever planner size you use, that is the cover that you get. Let's take a look at this. Ooh, that's actually quite sexy, this little tag here. So it is a book cloth cover. So it kind of has that linen-y cover. It says reserved entry. Ooh, that's fancy. Really nice. Again, A5. Got the cloth and paper tag on the inside. No pockets. I like pockets. I'm a little disappointed there's no pockets. There's the back. And then this is nice. Look how and I love that they included an elastic. I think that is a very nice touch. And I like that it's actually a rounded elastic, not a flat one, because that's just different. So someone designed that on purpose. And I think that that's kind of a nice change up. And then they even covered up how the elastic is attached. And I think that's quite nice. So yeah, I feel like the finishing on this is good. Like the quality feels nice. And that band is super nice. The only thing I wish that it had was like one thin little pocket here. My concern, I have a ton of like clear plastic pockets that I can add to it, but this material I don't think is going to do well with the adhesive. So I'm not sure that's going to work. But shall we assemble? Now I purchased the black. I wish that I don't know. I'll probably like the black more than the silver. Let's take a look at what comes with it. So they're going to send you the black. If you are brand new to the subscription, they're going to give you what you need. And so they knew that I was new to the subscription. So they gave me rings. And the reason I switched over to this for this box and why I was like, oh, let's go with rings is specifically because of these. I don't like a really bulky wrap on a planner, even with my discbound planners. If they're overly bulky, it's just too much for me. And it's unlikely that I would want to use a A5 binder for planning. What's cool about these guys, which they do sell on the website, right? Because I got the black one. What's cool about these is they're floaters, right? And that means that you can pop in your planner into whatever type of sleeve you already have. So if I did not want to use a heavier wrap that's got like a snap closure, but I have a thin kind of leather situation, really any of my disc-bound planner covers, this could fit into those. And I don't need to buy like a binder style cover. I can use my disc bound covers, like a Moterm cover, for example, with this. And we can test that out in just a second. But let's pop this guy on. And I love the disc bound system, and I've always said I'm never gonna do rings ever because it just feels like school. But I don't know. I was curious. About this, the aesthetic of this. So should we do let's see what the black looks like. My goodness, come on. I have a feeling the black is going to be nicer. Oh yeah. So the silver that comes with it is a shiny silver. The black is like a matte black. Those are super sexy. So we're going to change things out. And yeah, I just haven't wanted to deal with like the pulling apart of the rings whenever I want to take a page off. But as I've said many a time, since having my daughter and now having a toddler, I've had a little less patience for pages popping up on the disc-bound system. And this gives me the flexibility of the disc-bound in that I can move the pages around. But, oh, look how that twizzles. But the pages are securely fastened onto the rings, and I don't have to worry about the pages popping off undesired. Now, the matte, I don't know if it's because of how it's painted, but these are significantly stiffer. Like, they need some WD-40. They're super stiff, but I think that's going to look nice with the black. Ooh, it does look nice with the black. So we're going to, although the stiffness might be a deterrent for me. let's just see how this goes. And I'm going to grab, if I have them within reach, I will grab a couple of disc bound wrap covers to see how they work with this guy. So let's pop these guys on and see how it looks. I'm going to go, and it's really hot in my office right now. I live in Texas, if you didn't know this, and I am in a detached office in my backyard, and it gets really hot when I don't have the AC going. So right now it's super hot. So yeah, it's a little, I don't like the black ones. I like the look of the black ones, but something about that like matte black coating makes them not fun to take on and off. I'm going to take this off and put the silver on because they seem better. And now I feel bad because I spent 10 bucks on rings that I'm not sure I like. They'll find a home. Don't worry. Let's take these guys off. Yeah, they're just stiffer. And it's probably because of that coating, which makes me wonder if this matte black coating will come off at some point. Okay, so let's go with these guys. I mean, these are just, yeah, so much easier. Pop these guys on. And the other thing that I like about this opportunity to try using rings is the A5 size. You know, when I was with Happy Planner, when you have, you know, your only jump is between a mini and a classic, and you don't get the, you don't have that half letter size, you know, it's kind of sad. So I got really into the half letter size because it's not too big, not too small. But the half letter size is a little narrower than the A5 size. And there's the A5 size I've just gotten familiar with other planners that I have. And I like the A5 size. And there is no, other than Planything. Planything has a disc bound planner and notebook that is A5 size. She's the only one that does it. And that means if I want an A5 size, it's either Planything or switching to rings. And I like the size. So I'm going to try the rings because I like the flexibility of the disc, but I want a size that doesn't really exist in a disc bound option. So these are going to kind of be loosey-goosey. Let's add more paper to them just to see how it, and can it bend? It bends on itself easily, and I'm not having that experience like with a disc bound where it's like popping up. So I kind of get why people like this. What makes me more warm to the rings idea is specifically this. I know I've already said that, but with this cover, this is so slim, and there's something just too much for me with all of the A5 binders out there where they have the full thing in the center, you know, the full spine that you snap open like a 3-ring binder from the 90s. Like, this gives me coil and disc bound vibes without paper coming off, and it's super minimalist. I kind of love it, you guys. And this opens up to me like flexibility planning and the size I want. And I have the divider set up already. So I kind of love it. Let's put in these guys. And I'm going to separate them by type just in the first couple of months here. So we'll do the daily in January. This is just for kicks. Now this is where it's going to be kind of annoying because you got to do it all individually. Whereas if you have like a full binder, you just pop it and it all opens up. So this is going to be a little bit more laborious, but for the everyday user, you're probably setting up your planner at one point in time. And at most you're taking out a page here and there. You're not actually rearranging the whole thing every day. So I'm going to, just so I don't have to keep opening and closing, we'll just flip February over and we'll just separate all these out. So then we have our horizontal. Pop the horizontal in. Move March. And I think that this will feel even better when it's got more pages in it. It won't feel quite as loosey-goosey. Then we have our vertical or compact vertical if you're a Erin Condren person. Let's move April. And we have our weekly schedule. And we'll move this guy. You guys will have to let me know, of all the layouts that you've seen, which one do you like the best of this little sneak peek of their 2026 collection? Is there anything missing, you think? And we don't need this. Okay. Pop this guy in. Let me know what your favorite guy is. Yeah, these pop on so much better, or pop closed so much easier than the previous. So see how it's like the thinness of a disc-bound planner without the pages popping up? And then you can easily, I would say this is the best if you're a disc-bound person and you've been curious. And just to be clear, I don't stand to gain whether or not you pick up the cloth and paper box this month, but I'm all about a good value and trying to find a planner system that works for you. And this just gives you everything to, you know, try out in one shot versus buying all these individual elements and then realizing it's not for you. This is much better. I kind of like this. Okay, so let's grab some, let me see if I can find some covers. Hold on. I gotta move over to the other side of my office and we're gonna see what options we might have here for covers. And we're gonna see if it is, as I'm anticipating, that if you have that kind of free form ring, you can use disc-bound wrap covers if you want to have something more intense. I got a bunch of options here. We're just gonna test this out for science. So here are two covers that are not HP. What size are these? These are half letter size. These are from Jane's Agenda. This is Allegedly Gray. And this is, I want to say like Autumn Leaf or something like that. What I like about Jane's covers is I do like the pockets. She also designs them with 2 pen loops. You do not have a pen loop on this guy. So if you wanted to add a little bit more bulk and you wanted pockets and stuff, let's just pop this guy in here. I'm curious if the A5 rings will fit inside a Jane's Agenda half letter. I'm forcing it, but it does fit. And I'm showing this just in case you're in the disc-bound world and you're like, I already have like so many different covers. This is what made me want to try the rings like this, is because I can use them in covers like this. So again, I'm not a big bulky person, but I like having options. So I have that option. I'm not going to do it, but I have that option and I wanted to make sure you could see it. This is a tight squeeze though, so keep that in mind. So that was the Autumn Leaf one. And I do have an affiliate link and discount code for Jane's Agenda if you're new to her. I'll leave that in the description box. This is Allegedly Gray. It's a really like nice chameleon color. Now this kind of gets in the way here, but Cloth and Paper sells backs of planners for this purpose, for sliding into wraps. So you could take this thing off, pick up one of her plastic cover or back covers that is punched for the 6 ring, and then you've got something much thinner to slide into here. You could also get like one of those cutting boards. This is going to fit just like the other one, so I don't need to put it all the way in, but it's a tight fit, but it does work. You could also get a cutting board from Dollar Tree, cut it down to size and punch it. All you need is something stiff enough to attach to the back that will slide into here. So that's what I would do if you are a discbound person switching to this, but you want to use a wrap cover. Make sure that you get a thinner backing to your planner that you can use. I also have this guy. This I purchased. This is a cloth and paper cover, and I purchased it for my hemlock and oak planner, which it does fit. But again, if you're wanting to change things out, change the aesthetic, and that was for a book-bound planner. I think this is advertised to be for a discbound, but see, that fits fine. It's going to slide. So what you'd probably want to do is one of these sides. This side has plastic, and this is going to be a tight squeeze. In fact, I don't think it's going to fit. I'm not going to force it. So you'll want to change out this back cover to that plastic backing so that you can slide it into here. So these are all covers that I have already had for a long time that I'm loving seeing that they work. And oh, this is a nice fit. Okay, stop it. That's really nice. This is the soft folio cover. This is genuine leather from Levenger. It's one of my favorite covers. You can tell it's getting old, but the leather has worn like a dream. It is so soft. It has a magnetic closure. Look how that half letter Levenger soft folio holds on to this guy. So if I wanted additional pockets, I get that if I add it to an additional cover, and it works with the rings. That is fabulous. Okay, so the Levenger half letter will fit. And then this guy looks way too big. This is a Happy Planner cover for an HP Classic, but you have pockets. So if you want pockets, you've got it. Let's test out the A5 and the HP cover. Flawless. It's a little bulky. It's got a little bit of room. So if you wanted to add, if you had like a B5 notebook that you wanted to add to it, or this was filled with more pages, you could definitely fill in that space. But this gives you like a complete dashboard. And again, this is a Happy Planner wrap cover. And that works just fine with the A5. Again, spacious, but potential to fill it up if you're someone that likes to carry a lot of stuff. I mean, especially right here, you could add, you know, your extra little like stickers and stuff. Slide those in there. And then we're just playing here for a second. Get a little journaling card. Ooh, wait, I like this one. Will it fit? That one won't fit. So we throw that one down. What about our monthly? Will our monthly fit? It does fit. Probably put that there. So yeah, just playing around to see what I already have, like how it will fit in, how what I already have will work with. This guy does not. Okay, a little bit of feedback on this. This is a metal clip, which means it's not going to snap, which is nice, but it also means it is going to be really hard to pull. So just keep that in mind. It's super stiff. Like, you got to really weasel it. Like, I can't even get it to get on this elastic thing, which is pretty big. All right, friends, that's enough playing for me, but I hope that my level of detail was helpful for you. I will leave cloth and paper link down in the description box. And yeah, you can buy these boxes as a one-off if you want to. You don't have to subscribe to multiples at once. It's literally a one-time purchase. The one-time purchase, I think, is $50 or $55. But for $50 to $55 to have a cover, discs, stickers, inserts, and a really nice pen all together, like, I think is a really, really good value. Don't be disappointed though if you're already a subscriber and you don't get discs or rings. I don't get the rules on this, but I'm pretty sure it's just first time subscribers. So you may not get these in your box if you are currently subscribed to Cloth and Paper. But if you're a newbie, they give you everything, which is super nice. All right, friends, it's getting hot. I'm gonna go back into the house. I bet Esther's done with her nap. Josh is in the house with her. And I was like, oh, gotta film this really fast while she's napping. If you have any questions, always leave them down below. I am not a cloth and paper expert, but I am a paper and planner enthusiast. And so I like to try all the brands and do all the things. And if that sounds like it's something that you want to continue on the journey with me with, then I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. All right, friends, you can see me over on Instagram. My handle is The Joyful Sojourn. And until next time, friends, God bless you. God bless you and keep you. Do something creative today. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.